In this particular video, I'm going to talk something about connecting source version control to Power Apps. So, as you see in the screen, like a while back, I posted a video in the YouTube channel, and I got a comment from one of the subscriber, Marcelo. So he has mentioned that thank for the video. Still not clear the value of doing this. Does this work other way around when committing on Git updates the app? So there are a couple of things over here. One is like the value of doing this exercise, and the second thing is whether the changes are twofold. Okay, whether it comes from like it just flows from Power Apps to the Git repository, or is it an other way around also? Okay, so let's watch that out in action. But before than that, I need to first thing make clear that what is the value of doing this. Now remember, Power apps is like a low code no code solution for building apps. Okay, so this is not like predominantly more focused to the developers, but now Microsoft has started taking that step to make it available for all. Okay, so as a long time roadmap, I would say that over a period of time, it may be helpful for developer to perform all the source code related functionality, which is a part of Git repository as well. Now, currently, I would say it is not matured. Okay, so if you look into the documentation, now the documentation says use Git version control to edit Canvas apps experimental. So now this solution is still in experimental stage, and it's been quite a while, you know. So still this is, I would say, it's in experimental mode. So what I would recommend as of now is that uh, I would not honestly use this feature, but it's a good feature to have because you have all the Power Apps solution being deployed into a source code repository, right? Now, I'm not going to go through it to the solution of how to connect and how to enable the Git version control because that's already covered as a part of the video. However, there are some things which you may need to have a look into it. Like there are a lot of known limitations, and the known limitation list is growing day by day. Okay, and like it's not compatible with Test Studio. This is connecting multiple apps to the same Git may cause problems. Edits to the same property aren't merged, so last edit made a win. So all these kind of things are there. So my recommendation would be to not use this till the time this becomes, you know, like kind of generally available as a part of the solution. Okay, now the second question was whether it is just a one side flow or is it like coming from uh, the Git as well as the changes is like two-sided. Okay, so let me show you. First we'll go through some of the uh, theoretical concept. Okay, so let me click here and let me show you here. Yeah, so we have a Power Apps. Okay, so this is a Power Apps, and then we have a Git repository, right? Now, what we have shown in that video is that, you know, like you can connect Power Apps to a Git repository and then you can push those changes into the Git repository. So all the source code will then be stored in Git repository. Now, you make any change over here, you push it back to the Git and changes persist in Git. Okay. Now, what if you make a change in Git and then see whether it reflects in Power Apps or not? Okay. So we are going to look into this part. Okay. Whether it is possible or not. Okay. So that's the question. Okay, so I'm in the Power Apps interface over here. Now here, if you see that while creating a Power App, you only see an option of creating a blank app. So and other Dataverse, SharePoint, Excel options are there, but then you know there's no provision to import an app from a source control repository. Okay, so the first step is to you have to create an app and then push it to the source control repository. So you can't say that file open from source code repository and then you know like you open that app. So that option is not there. So this is one sided. Second thing, this is the app. This is a very like a ugly looking app which I prepared, you know, just for demonstration purpose, and I connected it to the backend Azure DevOps repository. Now how do I do it is like I go to settings, I enable the feature, upcoming feature related to Git. So this is the show the Git version control setting. I turned it on. Got this option. Then I tried connecting it by pointing it to the Azure DevOps. Okay. Now in Azure DevOps, let me show you my project. Now this is the test canvas app source control. I have one repo. Okay. How I connected this repo is like by going into, you know, the settings over here and created a personal access token, and this personal access token is correct connected to this particular application. Okay, so that's how you connect. Now once it is all connected, I will be able to see the source code in a folder format. Now coming back to this app. Okay, if you make any change to this app, so let's take for example, if I make this say blue color. Okay, now this is say blue color. What I need to do, I need to first save this app and then sync this. So this button will sync the content from Power Apps to the Git repository. Now Git repository will have all the latest changes. Now there are like a lot of files in the backend. Okay, so let's go into this file one by one. So there is something called as component references. Okay, so if you see component references, there's nothing in it. Okay, let's go to control templates.json. Now here in control templates.json, you might find a lot of, like JSON related objects. Okay, now what if you make a change over here, will it appear in the front end? But make sure that you should know what exactly are you making change on. Okay, now this file is a bit complicated, so we're not going to touch this. Okay, let's go into canvas manifest.json. Okay, now in canvas manifest.json, okay, let me show you over here as well. Like if you go into the app, you see that instrumentation key is not there, right? It's missing. Now if I go to canvas manifest.json and start typing instrumentation key, now you see there's no instrumentation key over here, and that's correct. Now let's add this instrumentation key from GitHub repo and then see whether this changes persist or not. So I need a GUID. I will copy this GUID. You need to have your own GUID if you want to use the instrumentation key. Now I can't edit this. I need to click on edit, come here, paste this, and maybe let me make this change, on this GUID. Okay, so let's assume this is one of the instrumentation key. I commit this change. I update this. And now let's see whether this change persists over here or not. Okay, let me refresh this. Now I made a change in the instrumentation key, and now I can go to app. Now you see the instrumentation key appears over here. So that means this change works two ways. Okay, now same for the, say if I go to here, and if I just search for this text, UUU is the description of this app. Now I'll say description from, say, Git. Okay, oh sorry, yeah, I need to edit this first. So description from Git. If I type this, I commit this change. I commit this change in the GitHub Git repository, and then I try to sync this in the application. Then the description should be updated, ideally, if the two-way changes work. Okay, still loading. Click on app, and then you see description from Git has come. So now the change from uh, the Git is persisting in the application. Okay, now there are some other places whereby you can also make a change, like let's say by going into the source src. Okay, and then you have the screen1.fx.yml. Okay, now here there's a lot of label controls, rectangle control. Okay, now if you see the rectangle over here in the screen, it's somewhere here, right? Now let me make a change. Let me put the x as, say, 255. Okay, let me edit this. 255 and y as maybe 155, and then commit this change. Okay, and then commit this. Okay, and if I come over here, if I synchronize this or synchronize this change, let's see if the rectangle moves or not. Okay, now the rectangle has moved, so that means technically you can make a change in the YAML file, and then that change is getting reflected. Okay, moving on to the other change, if I go to app.fx.xml, yml, Now here the back enabled is true, okay, and the theme is Power Apps theme. Now here, if you go into app, you'll see back enabled is true. Okay, let me make a change and see whether this persists or not. Oh, I need to edit this. Edit file. If false, commit this, and I'll synchronize this change. Now, once I synchronize this change, this if the two-way property works, then back enable should be false. Okay, so again going to app, it is false now. So that means, to summarize, this connection between Git repository and Power Apps is a two-way street. So you can make a change in the code, and then that code will get reflected in the Power Apps. But you need to be very sure that you should know where you are making change, what change you are making, because accidentally, if you make any change which is not following the syntax, or it gives a compile time error, then your entire app may crash. Okay, so that's it, folks. So I hope I have answered Marcelo's query, like about the value of doing this exercise, and also committing on the Git updates, which is like kind of a two-way updates. Okay, so it's from Power Apps to Git, and as well as from Git repository to Power Apps. So that's it, folks. Thanks for watching.